Good morning. Hello. My analysis for today is going to be for chapter 171 of The Promised Neverland, and today I will be taking a different approach. As you can see, I have opened up the V's Media online website for The Promised Neverland. It's the official release. It was released yesterday, and today I'm just gonna analyze what's happening here, and of course I'll be putting my notepad on one side so I can write down my thoughts, and then so that I can show you in this presentation how I'm going to come up with different theories for the next chapter. So let's go on. So we know in this chapter, Peter Ratry is trying to run away from all the sisters and mamas who are all trying to get to him, who are trying to shoot him or kill him, because Peter Ratry doesn't want to lose. He's afraid that if he loses, he'll be the only one left to fend himself off against the cattle children. And then, as you can see here, it's a really interesting thing to notice how Peter Ratry is trying to escape. He even says in this in his telephone conversation that he wanted the demons to fly over the grace field, eat a bat or bird or whatever, so that they can transform and fly over to the Gracefield house, so that they can back him up. But as we know that it's impossible at this point, because Peter Ratry is alone and he's trapped and the bridge has collapsed, as you can see there. And then other commenters or other theories mentioned how he needs to like push a button or like push a remote control so that he can activate the chips or the bombs inside each of the mama's heart or the sister's hearts. But in order to do that, he need to go to the system. And same thing with the cattle children who are in the storage room. He needs to use the system or the controls so that he can get to them. So the highlight of this chapter is really what I suppose is gonna be the events that are happening in the imperial capital. And so I'm just gonna write in my notes here, Peter Ratry escaping Gracefield. That's the highlight of chapter 171. And then the other one is going back to Songju and Muhika, who are, well, like, let's face it, we've forgotten them in several chapters because of the events that are happening in Gracefield. So as you can see here, I'm just gonna put it like this, so I will be able to show you my notes. The events happening in the demon city or town is that, like, the execution of Muhika and Songju, and this is a very big highlight in this chapter, because who would save them, because the kids are in Gracefield house. And so as you can see, this panel right here really shocked me, because I never expected, in the TPN community, no one would have expected that little demon monkey and this demon is going to show up in this arc. Like, I was so shocked when Demon Lewis just showed up. Archduke Demon Lewis, that's what we should call him, because he's really a royalty. He's like the fifth son of the Demon King. His sister is Queen Ligvavalima. His brother is Songju. And I've heard somewhere that Sangju is his younger brother and Demon Lewis is more ancient. I believe that my theory with Archduke Lewis, let me tell you, is that Archduke Lewis, he has a second core. And if you don't know what that means, please go back to chapter, I'm not sure, but somewhere around volume 17, I guess, or volume in the middle of those chapters, volume 17. The second core is that eye of the demon, where it sustains their lifetime, like Queen Ligvavalima we know that she has two cores because she's the queen. And then Muhika revealed that only Queen Ligwa Valima has two cores, and no one in the demon family or in the demon royalty has two cores except Ligwa Valima. But I guess with with chapter 171, it's hinted that Arctic Luvis has a second core, and you can see that you can really see how fashionable he enters the town, walking or waltzing like that. Everyone is shocked to see him. The readers are shocked. Songju and Muhika are shocked. So everyone are terrified to see him. But my guess is that Arctic Luvis' second core is inside the demon monkey, and I've been suspecting that since volume 11 or volume 10. It's in his demon monkey whose name is Palvus. The reason why is that Palvus has been highlighted in this chapter prominently. Like, he's there and he's making these queer appearances, like latching on to Arctic Luvis just like that with his sinister smile. And of course, he said this word, he returned unintentionally. He didn't mean to return. Maybe he wasn't even expecting that he'll survive the battle at Goldie Pond Arc with Emma and the other Goldie Pond kids, with Nigel, Oliver, and Emma, and Ray, and Hugo as well. So see that splattered blood? Nobody. So he didn't have a body when he was shot by Emma back in volume 11. And then the way that he caresses his pet monkey Palvus is very it's very telling that he's maybe Arctic Luvis' weakness is Palvus. So I'm just gonna make a note of that Palvus can become his weakness. And even back in volume 11, I noticed how fond he is of that demon monkey. He's very protective of that demon monkey, that one-eyed demon monkey. And let me tell you that one-eyed demons are very prominent in Promised Neverland. The amulet that Muhika gave Emma is one eye. The child demon god, where the day and night, where Ray and Emma went to the day and night dimension, that child demon god has one eye. That pet dragon that the child demon god has, it also has one eye. And even so the child demon god has one eye, and its dragon, its pet dragon, it also has one eye. And similar to Palvus and Arctic Luvis, who is a royalty, is very fond of his pet, his one-eyed pet, who is Palvus, his demon pet monkey. And maybe it was the same thing for this child demon god. Who knows whether the child demon god was a royalty back in his days, back in his living days, during the when he was still a demon in the community or in the town. But it must be also very fond. It must also be very fond of its one-eyed pet dragon, and we can see that in here. In previous chapters, and Luvis is the perfect parallel to the one-eyed demon god. Anyway, highlight of this chapter is that as you can see here, it's been a while, so of course they knew each other, and Songju and Muhika were very intimidated and shocked. I was also shocked when I saw this panel here, how Songju just hurt. He scratched Songju, tried to take some blood away from him, and surprisingly he rallied the demon citizens. Look at this is the cursed blood that you all fear. It's not true, it's just a rumor that my sister Queen Ligwa Valima created to create or to publicize false information, to publicize false hope. And the way that Arctic Luvis drank that cursed blood from Songju is telling that he has good intentions. Oh, and there's one more thing that I would like to point out. In the raw scanlations for The Promised Neverland, the Japanese title is located here, and there's this 3-line decoration that if you are following The Promised Neverland, the Japanese logo or the Japanese title always has 3-line decorations in it, representing Emma and Ray and Norman. And those 3-line decorations are telling, they're drawn in here in a way to show the readers or hint the readers that maybe Lewis is supporting the demons, or maybe Archduke Lewis is supporting Emma, Norman, and Ray in their adventures. And I'm so sad that it's not shown here in the official translation of Viz Media, because those 3 lines are representative of the main characters or the trio. And if those 3 lines are being held or being supported by Archduke Lewis, whose reappearance is very prominent here in this chapter, then it can be telling that Archduke Lewis is going to help Emma, Norman, and Ray in their adventures, or Emma, Norman, and Ray can be captured again by Archduke Lewis. So those are 2 things. So I'm just gonna make a note here. Those 3 decorative lines could be maybe it can be a hint that Lewis is going to help or hinder the trio. So those are my predictions. These notes that I'm doing right now, they can be used as a basis for my predictions for the next chapter, because Lewis explained in here that he has been siding with Queen Liguavalima and with the other, I don't really know if he has been siding, but he's saying in here that the Queen and the 5 regent houses don't degenerate because they consume the evil blood or the cursed blood. I don't know where to verify whether he is one of those demons who consume evil blood or cursed blood. So I don't know which chapter. I saw it here that he consumed it just to make the people calm down, show them the reality behind the evil blood. But did he really drink the cursed blood back in the day? That's why he has been living so long, for like 1,000 years now. I know that Archduke Lewis is an ancient demon. He's been living for like 1,000 years or more, but who knows if he was also one of those demons who consumed evil blood or the cursed blood, and that's why his life is maybe more than 1,000 years. He's very ancient, he's very old. And this scene in here, this particular scene in here, if we analyze it, it's not very telling, it's not very clearly shown, but that's a little Songju, young Songju and young Lewis back in their days, brother to brother. We can tell that Archduke Lewis loves to hunt. He loves the thrill of the hunt, and perhaps that's the reason why he came back. But then he mentioned in here that it's just a whim. It's just a whim why he's helping Songju and Muhika in this against them being executed, saying even to the crowd or to the demon crowd that the traitors and all of them were the queen. The traitors were the queen and the houses and the vassal armies of the 5 regent houses. Even the kids are calling him your highness now. Sorry about that. So going back in here, see this word Lewis is saying, I'm sure this isn't like me. It really reminds me, that word, I'm sure this isn't like me, it really reminds me of Ray being told by Emma in maybe chapter 15 or in the early chapters during the Gracefield arc, that Emma confronted Ray. And when Emma confronted Ray, she said back in a Gracefield arc that it's not like you. That's so unlike you. That's what Emma said. It's so unlike you, Ray, to have like changed your mind to show us that you're with us now with all or with everybody escaping. That's so unlike you. And I guess that's just one way that Shirai is pointing to his readers how maybe Lewis is changing his character, or he is turning a new leaf from being a shady character or an antagonist to becoming a helper or a aid or an aid to Emma and her friends. And even so, like in this case, Lewis is really the highlight. I really did not expect to see him again. He wants the execution to be cancelled. He wants the arrest of the traitors or the leaders of the current government. And of course, he didn't say to execute the vassals. Why not execute them? So that's a big change for Lewis. Not execute the vassals. We can really tell that these traits that Lewis is showing right now to the demon vassals and to the citizens, it's a 180-degree turn. No one would have expected this after reading I don't know, volume 11, that his there's a 180-degree turn in his personality. Peter Ratry is finally acknowledging his defeat, and that's what's the title of this chapter is Defeat, chapter 171. And he really fears that Peter Ratry is this is his final moment. He's lost. And the artwork in Promised Neverland, stones crumbling down, it really goes to show there's a theme here of statues being crumbled down, because we see that in volume 18 art cover, how Norman is being pulled away in becoming a statue, and she is being saved by Emma and Ray. And then we also see Lord Gilan or Lord Giran being crumbled down. I think that's one of the early chapters in volume 17, I think, during the Royal Capital Battle arc, when he is being crumbled down to pieces when Queen Ligua Valima switched her demon hand against him. And really, Peter Ratry is at the end of his cycle here. When Emma confronted Peter, he remembered, or he recalled the time when, regarding the reward or the promise that Emma made. So he realized that it's Emma who made the promise, and it hasn't been implemented. So remember this scene when Anna and the others were threatened to tell Peter Ratry the promise or the reward. It hasn't been implemented yet. That's what Anna revealed. So he has a big bad plan here. He says that the one who made the promise was 63194, Emma, and his darkened panel here shows that he has something up his sleeve. Maybe Peter Ratry still has a trump card versus so instead of being defeated, he's gonna have a trump card up his sleeve to show at the last moment when confronting Emma, and it's gonna be kill Emma, maybe. So maybe he has plans to kill Emma, so the promise will be voided. And that's a very interesting theory, because if there's no Emma, there will be no person who will execute the promise. There's even another interesting thing here, is that how Emma is shown as a crumbling stone statue. Really, the themes here in TPN is telling to me that someone, something, or someone will become a statue later on, like how that faceless demon in the Kavit Dala arc, remember that faceless mummified demon became a statue, and then it was situated, or it's located in the Kavit Dala temple. Oh my gosh, that's really creepy. That's one of the most horrific images that I've seen in manga history. So maybe Emma's imagery here, from Peter's point of view, as a crumbling statue, is very disturbing, because maybe he plans to finish her by like not just by stoning her to death or killing her, but in his imagery, from Peter's point of view, that someone he knows already had this happen to him. Maybe it's James Ratry. Where did he even imagine this image of someone crumbling down And is it gonna be executed by the child demon god, whose name we do not know, whose name is unpronounceable? It's very disturbing. So it may be like, it might have been James Vatry's point of view. I mean, it might have been Peter's point of view on James Vatry, that he also like crumbled down to stone when Peter betrayed his older brother. So who knows where the story will go, but I can really tell that these themes like crumbling statues, and remember, chapter 171 is the first chapter of volume 20, right? We just finished volume 19 on chapter 170. Chapter 170 is the last chapter on volume 19. And volume 19 started with Peter as the main antagonist, and it also ended with him as running away from the children of Gracefield House, or Gracefield Orphanage, or from the cattle children. So I really am excited to see where this is going, because I did not expect chapter 171 to show the return of Lewis, who is really, really cool. So let me know what you think about this analysis. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts, and let me know your theories and comments as well. How do you find the recent chapters in Promised Neverland? Do you think this is going to end soon? Do you think this will add 50 or 20 more chapters before its finale? Really love to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for listening, and you have a great day. Thank you.